What is up, guys? Spider Maguire here, and welcome to probably my first and only ever Fortnite video. I'm not a massive fan of this game, to be completely honest, probably due to the fact that I'm not very good at it. I'm very much into my third and first person shooter games, but I just can't get to grips with this one, and I think it's because of the building sense of the game. Whenever you get yourself into a firefight, suddenly the person you're shooting at suddenly becomes a castle or just some structure of some kind, which in some senses is pretty cool, but I can't build on this game. So yeah, I rarely ever play it, but I've played it a good few times, and when I played the Thanos mode version of the game, I actually got quite lucky and got a victory for the first time ever. So what I thought I'd do is upload the clip. It's only 10 minutes long, but I thought I'd narrate it as well, just to give you a bit of insight as to how I actually achieved this win, because it's very, very strange. The way I play this game is quite defensive anyway. I'll stay away from people. I won't throw shots into the distance to, make people aware of my position. I play very, very stealthy. I try and collect as much ordnance as I can, get all the good weapons. I kind of just try and steer clear of any any confrontation, unless I start getting fired upon. Again, that's mainly because I like to use the surroundings as cover, as opposed to just suddenly erecting a massive mansion made out of wood and stone. So yeah. Whereas this mode, the Thanos mode, I thought was quite interesting, which is why I started playing it again. And yeah, it's quite cool. For those of you who never played the Thanos mode when it was around, it was to promote the new Avengers movie, Infinity War, and Thanos is the main bad guy, and he has a glove, or a gauntlet I think it's called, which enables him various different powers. And in this version of the game, you become pretty hardcore. You can throw punches that will just destroy people, you can fire lasers from your gauntlet, etc. And of the 100 players on the round, only one person can become Thanos at any one time. So when the round starts, his gauntlet will come shooting from the sky and land somewhere on the island, and whoever gets it first will become Thanos, and then you can just go nuts. So this game started like any other game, very, very cautious, sticking to the shadows, sticking to cover, keep my head down and collecting things. And before I knew it, there was hardly anyone left by the time I actually started seeing anyone. There was like no one on the server. Well, what felt like there was no one on the server. But yeah, I was just keeping my head down, and this was the first time, I think, when I actually came into contact with other players. And by now there was only 11 players left, so that was quite lucky on my behalf. As you can see here, there's a couple of players are actually trying to take Thanos on. You can kill him, although his shield is up at 200% and his health is a mega 500%. I think when the Thanos mode did start, he actually had, I think it was 800 health, but I think that was a bit too much. So they patched it shortly after and brought it down a bit. So yeah, I've climbed back up this mountain to avoid the confrontation over there, because I just knew that with an array of blue weapons and one purple scar, probably wouldn't be enough to take Thanos down on my own, considering I'm not the greatest Fortnite player. But with only 8 players left to go and no kills under my belt, I thought this was quite surprising that I'm still alive here. And the circle, like the playable area, is getting incredibly small. Now Thanos here is the other side of this mountain that I'm deciding to just sort of run around, and yeah, he never found me. He kept jumping from A to B, and he was looking for the other 5 players left, and I just somehow was lucky enough to constantly avoid him. I suppose in this game I can build structures, I can build walls and ramps, but watching some of the latest players on YouTube play the way they do and build the way they do, I can't get my head around how good and how easy they make it look. They can just erect structures incredibly quick, And not only that, but they can return fire as well as, you know, maintain a visual on who they're shooting at. It's so impressive. I think it probably just means I need practice of this game, but I think, to be honest, after the first few goes, I'm just kind of not a big fan. Now, I'm sorry, and apologies to those of you who are hardcore fans, but I don't know. I thought I'd give it a few goes, and I've kind of put it away now. Now, as you can see, there's a player building up a ramp there, which I think is a jump pad, which I think was a good way of trying to take Thanos on. I didn't actually know that back then, and what I did there was probably a bit of a dick move, but you know, I wasn't sure, so I just thought I'd take that thing down. And there was a drop that landed just down there, which I really wanted to get straight away, but at the same time I didn't know where anyone else was and whether, you know, anyone had eyes on that drop. So just now you saw there was a big tower in the background. That was pretty cool. That I just cannot build in this game. So as you can see, I was lucky enough to get this drop, and yeah, minigun is not too bad, but in some aspects, a lot of people, they frown upon the minigun. They don't like it very much. Now, there's only 4 players left of this match, and I'm playing incredibly safe and just hugging the side of this cliff. Now, I start to think, right, maybe I better start practicing with this building part. So I start making stairs to try and get a bit higher, just to see what is going on. And all I know is, at this point, Thanos is just staying on top of this mountaintop and just trying to own it. Now, there's only 3 players left to go. There's Thanos, there's me, and there's some other poor guy who happens to be hiding, who's just been killed. So now it's just the 2 of us. So with 14 seconds left to go before this place shrinks right down, I'm just still hiding and building stairs. So I start going a bit higher up, thinking maybe I should get up there, and then I slide down, lose a bit of health, and at this point I kind of start to panic, because I just don't know how I'm going to be able to take this guy out on my own. So now we're in the final stages of this game. There's 50 seconds left before the storm shrinks down and there's nothing left to go. And Thanos is up there thinking, where is this guy? So I like to think that at this point he's completely confused and he doesn't know where I'm hiding, because he's jumping up and down all over the place and he can't see any movement. I have been Thanos once before in a previous game, and movement is quite beneficial. So when you do the big sky jump before you slam down for like a power punch or whatever it's called, you get a good view of the entire island, so you can see anyone running around, anyone jumping about, and of course you can then just home in on them and try and take them out. So we're left less than 10 seconds to go. I'm still hugging the side of this mountain and I'm just patiently waiting. But the thing is, at this point I wasn't sure what was actually happening next, and I didn't know that this was the last stage of the game. So now the storm is actually shrinking until it disappears, and I didn't know that. I thought it just started shrinking down and would stop again. But at this point I haven't noticed, and then in a few seconds I do. So that's when I start to panic and think, right, I better start building up. Now let's do these stairs. So I start building these stairs up. You can see the storm wall is starting to close in, and Thanos at this moment must be thinking, right, where is this guy? Now I get to this point and think, right, I'm gonna go up there and challenge him now and take him on, but I start to panic because that's a little bit too steep for me to jump. So now I'm in the storm and my health is going rapidly down. But luckily, somehow in a panic, I managed to build some steps and get up to this top with some health left intact. And at this point, Thanos has jumped out into the storm, and now his health is going down. And luckily, his health deteriorates before mine does, and he dies, and it counts as a victory for me. I cannot believe it. So I go down there, and as a little treat, I put on the gauntlet and become Thanos for the last few seconds of the map before it changes. But I don't know how I managed to do that without getting any kills throughout the entire game, or actually firing my weapon at anyone. I somehow managed to accidentally outsmart Thanos and get a win. Now, I honestly, that was the most luckiest play I think I've ever done, and that was the last game of Fortnite I ever played, actually. I left it at that. I thought, you know what, that was the weirdest win I'll ever have, so that's that. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope this hasn't been just another boring Fortnite video, but don't worry, this is going to be the only one I upload. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one, so until then, take it easy.